Hello student, welcome back for the course of MBA semester 1 Management Information System, and today our lecture is number 13, 14 and 15, and the topic of our today's discussion is system development. So in the last session we finished our unit number 1, where we came to know about the basic terminology in MIS and various applications of management information system. Now in this session we are going to discuss about how to develop any information system by using the process. So the primary objective of our today's session is helps to know the system development and how specifically by means of available resources we are developing the different form of information system. Okay, and therefore the topic would be called as system development. So the contents of our today's session are system development life cycle. This is called as SDLC. Okay, then SDLC process, system development life cycle process, and lastly we will see MIS development. So let us have a discussion first on system development. Now what do we mean by system development? We all are familiar with the computing devices. Different forms of softwares are installed on these computer machines as well as on the mobile devices. Wherever how these systems has been manufactured along with the appropriate type of operating system as well as application softwares, that will be the major concern, and all these things are involved in that system development. If you want to fabricate any particular machine, okay, say for example washing machine or any refrigerator, you need to collect the varieties of resources and then assemble it into some particular unit and develop a new system, a new washing machine or new refrigerator. In this way, it is one of the very integral part of every organization that involves in the process of manufacturing specifically. Similar to that manufacturing process, wherever we are manufacturing the different kinds of goods or products, so where we are converting that raw material into finished products. Similarly, any sort of computer based information system, okay, they will be also produced, they will be developed by means of using the available resources, and finally we should have to make this system available for its commercialization. Prior to that, we need to define how to develop these information systems. Any kind of information system, either it is a mobile phone, okay, or any computing devices, even all sort of computer based information system, that need to go from these stages. of system development. So any form of information processing machine or data processing machine, they would have some different peripherals like input output devices, controlling devices, and so many other things. We are including some system software, okay, even some application softwares, and we try to make that computer could be get available into the market for sale. It would not be just sufficient. That would be the assembled system that mostly we are buying from the market, wherever we uh, are installing different components within it, and we are formulating another type of machine that would work similarly, okay, as compared to the previous one. When we are talking about any sort of information system that will process the data appropriately and helps in management decision making activity, so such type of system, okay, that need to be planned very carefully, okay, and it should be tested, okay, and then it should be first of all defined, designed, tested, and implemented by means of using the varieties of softwares and programs, and then we should have to make its commercialization. So it is a very fundamental activity of each and every type of information system that will converts the data into meaningful information. All these systems that need to go from the stages of system development. So what exactly that system development is? System development is the process. It is the process of defining, designing, testing, and implementing any kind of new information system, okay, by means of introducing some software or some application or program in it. So here we are defining what sort of resources are required to fabricate any kind of information system, okay. We collect the different components and try to design some prototype of that information system. Then we test whether whatever fabricated information system would work according to our requirements. And finally, after conducting its testing, okay, we are implementing, okay, in our organization for performing the day to day activities. But the system development does not end at implementation. Depending on the responses of the user, okay, we should have to make the improvement in that existing system, and all these stages will be continued further so that we can fabricate some new form, okay, new and advanced form of information system. And that's why this system development will be an essential criteria for any type of information system. So all the organizations, okay, those who are dealing with data analytics, data sciences, even uh, other organizations, those are dealing with different activities with respect to business processes or any other business functions, for example HR, finance, marketing, production, they are continuously tries to make an improvement into their existing system. So they do formulate, okay, or reformulate that information system again and again, okay, making some changes into the existing system. So they are normally using this system development strategies, okay, uh, so as to fabricate some new and advanced form of information system. When we are planning for a system development, okay, we need to be very careful. First of all, here we need to think about whatever form of resources are available to the organization, whether it is feasible for the company to manufacture any type of information system. So this can include some internal development of the customized system. We are at departmental level, at organizational level, okay, we are just making a planning for fabricating the new system, okay, and that should not be at commercial level, but wherever we are concentrating over here by means of making some little bit modification into the existing system, okay, we can make some improvement in that system. We are also making some changes into that information system in the form of creation of the database. So as per the need and requirement of the organization, okay, different types of databases, maybe it is a employees database or financial database or any marketing database, okay, we are introducing, okay, day by day depending on the need and requirement of the user as well as the organization. And we are also focusing on acquisition of some third party development softwares. Either the software can be manufactured internally, okay, if we are asking for any other free software or open source software, okay, that could be made available easily, or any other software which could be made available from the vendor. So all these different types of software, okay, that we tries to use to manufacture some particular form of information system. So resources, databases and acquisition of some particular form of software that tries to make some sort of information system, okay, and we can start the system development processes initially from the organizational itself, okay. Now why does they are using that system development as one of the key ingredient to manufacture or fabricate the new information system? Many of the organizations, they are having, there is one department that is called as R&D department. Whatever products or whatever form of information system that will produce, without any quality testing, okay, or any sort of different forms of stages of that system development, suppose they were not implemented and they commercialized their systems and made available for the customer, in that case there will be a possibility that many of the customers that they will receive the complaints, okay, with respect to non-working of the system, okay, as well as the system will not function appropriately, and therefore many of the users, they could not make the use of that information system for management decision making purposes further. Rather than going for commercialization of the product or information system, so here first of all we are conducting some careful analysis by means of constructing a system, okay, before its implementation. And that's why this system development requires careful analysis and design before the implementation as well as commercialization of any type of information system. So what these organizations they will do, they will construct some prototype of information system, they will conduct some experiments on with respect to that information system with the help of data, and tries to identify whether there are any flaws or problems with respect to the use of that information system in their day-to-day activities. If the system passes through the different stages of its life cycle, okay, finally it should be made available to the user. And that's why that system development will be one of the very essential criteria, particularly those who are handling some form of information system in the organization, wherever most of the software, okay, that we will call it is a management information system, MIS based software. Okay, all these MIS based softwares, okay, that has to go with the stages of system development. So system development is one of the very important strategy to define or fabricate any type of information system. Now these are the stages that are involved in the system development life cycle. We call it is a life cycle. All these stages are repeatedly occur, okay, after some period of time. Okay, so there will be a sequential iteration of the operations at various stages of system development. So these are the various stages that we are going to see further. The first stage is called as planning stage. This will also include the requirement analysis of the information system, whatever that they are going to produce. The next stage would be an analysis stage. Okay, here we tries to define the requirement. The third stage would be designing the information system by means of identifying the system architecture. The fourth stage will be implementation of the system. Here we need to, prior to that we need to build or develop the system, and then we should have to implement that information system. Some other stages are also involved in any sort of system development, that is called as testing of the system. Then deployment of the system, that deployment is called as installation of the system. Lastly, we need to conduct its system evaluation and maintenance, and simultaneously we need to provide the support to the users of the information system. So all these systems development stages, okay, that would work in a very sequential manner. Let us see how this system development life cycle, or we will call it as a SDLC, system development life cycle, that would work. This life cycle will says that any kind of system can be manufactured by means of using these process, and that's why it is called as system development life cycle. So what is the process of that system development life cycle? Let us see. Same stages that we were discussed on the earlier slide. Planning and requirement analysis, the first stage will be there. Here we need to plan for an information system. The second stage would be called as defining the requirements. Here we tries to identify, okay, what are being available to us and what it has been not available to manufacture any sort of information system. Designing the system architecture with the help of various IT tools. Building and developing the system. Here actually we need to develop that particular information system and construct the prototype, means sample. Next we should have to test the system whether the system whichever has been constructed that would work appropriately. The next stage would be called as deployment of the system. This is called as system installation. System will work in a particular environment, okay, or its boundary. Also it is necessary to install at appropriate places wherever the user can interact with the information system. And finally there will be the system evaluation and maintenance. Time to time some sort of verification, okay, random checks need to be arranged, and on regular interval some maintenance would be conducted. So these stages could be followed sequentially one by one, and after the seventh stage, okay, we should have to again goes to the first stage. Whenever we will find out some any kind of flaws in the information system, if after its evaluation and maintenance, if the system analyst identifies that the system is not working appropriately as per the need and requirement of the organization, all these stages, okay, should be repeated again in a sequential manner until unless we will get a very appropriate form of information system. So that is called as an SDLC process. We have to see all these concepts of that system development life cycle one by one. So let us discuss the first step. This is called as planning and requirement analysis. Whatever form of system which has been constructed by the organization, most of them they will call it is a project, and we will call them as an activity of project planning. So any type of system planning or project planning, one and the same thing. While conducting the planning is a process of doing in advance. Here we need to manufacture that information system, and that requires some appropriate form of planning would be here. So we have to review the various project requests that comes from the shop floor people, those who are handling these different types of information systems. Simultaneously, we should have to look for the various types of data, okay, and other sort of information which could be handled by that new project or new machine or information system. Prioritizing the project request, we need to define the priority in how much period of time we need to construct the information system. Allocating the resources, because we are making some new manufacturing system, so we need to make the resources available to the system analyst and other programmers or those who are being physically constructing the system appropriately. Identifying the project development team, okay, so here there would be a programmer, system analyst, information analyst would be there, information officers would be there. So we need to create the team of appropriate human resource, so they do conduct some sort of planning for to manufacture any type of information system. So these are the very basic stages that involved in the project planning or system planning. There are some specialized form of techniques which can be used for system planning. So first of all, any sort of activity could be conducted, okay, first by means of using is planning, okay, and here we are following some particular form of techniques. The first technique is called as business system planning, okay, as most of the organizational softwares, okay, are called as enterprise management softwares, so we do call them as business system planning or simply system planning. Here we identify the things and define the information system priorities. What functions are included in that information system we are going to identify. Then we are going to identify the critical success factors. These critical success factors will be helpful in defining the major objectives and goals of new information system which is going to be constructed. So this will be helpful to define the key business goals. And lastly, there will be another technique that is called an end means analysis. By means of using the end means analysis, we will develop the criteria to define the effectiveness of the system. Now these criteria will be helpful to define the benchmark, and by means of that we will produce the appropriate form of information system as per the need and requirement of the organization that will produce some reliable and quality results. So these basic techniques are involved in the planning stages. So first of all, while conducting the planning related activities of any information system, we are also conducting the requirement analysis. What form of information that is available within the organization, we need to compare with some other information, okay, whether we can produce that information system internally within the organization or not. What sort of resources are being required? How does the data will flow? Okay, how does the data will be managed? Lots of things that are being connected with that information system can be analyzed with the help of this requirement analysis. So by means of requirement analysis, we came to know the goals, processes and constraints, means problems of that information system which we are going to design. So whichever form of system that we are planning, we need to think across what sort of information system that we are producing, try to identify its goals, objective, processes and constraints of information system which is going to be constructed. Here further analysis can be conducted by means of using some effective planning, and we need to analyze the information or whatever form of requirements of the organization using some systematic investigation of processes and requirements. It is not a haphazard kind of study. Detailed investigation, okay, in terms of whatever form of resources that they are available, how much money and type of technological tools, manpower has been required, everything has been clearly distinguished. So it requires some systematic investigation with the help of iterative process, and this can be analyzed by means of using some system plan, okay, that is called as system plan. We need to create a system plan. That system plan will be called as the blueprint of the entire system. Blueprint. Similarly, the engineering drawing plan of any building, like that. So by means of that we came to know how does the building will look like from its three-dimensional view, and we do try to formulate that blueprint or system plan using some diagrammatic tools. The first one is called as data flow diagrams and another one is called as context diagram. That data flow diagram will tells us how will be the flow of data through the business process. So either there will be a HR department, finance, marketing, production, whichever. From these departments and their departmental systems and subsystems, how does the data will flow and get stored into the master database. So that requires the data flow diagrams, and each and every type of data need to be very clearly mentioned. Context and contextual diagrams, okay, this will be helpful to define the boundaries of the system. All system operates in certain particular form of environment and they would have certain limitation, what type of data it could handle. So each and every system, they are suffering from some sort of limitations. It doesn't mean that, okay, whatever system that we are manufacturing, it is a universal system. It could not be said like that. So we need to define its boundary and in which the system will operate. Now once we are conducting such a kind of analysis, we need to go further and further and conduct some detailed investigation, okay, while by means of conducting the requirement analysis. Here we do carry out some preliminary investigation and identifying what are the requirements of the various departments, the users, specifically what will be the uh, remark of the system analyst. Everything will be taken into account. Then we need to further goes ahead, wherever we need to conduct some further detailed analysis, whatever form of activities that they are going to conduct under the system development. Define each and every stage very clearly, what sort of information has been required and how to get that information. We need to study some current system also. If the existing systems are available in the department, in the organization, we need to study its flaws or problems into the system. Whether whatever form of data has been provided to the present system, does that system will produce the reliable result or not. Here we are talking about various types of MIS reports. Whether we will get the report according to the need and requirements of the user. And then finally we should be in a position that we came to know about the final determination of the requirements to fabricate the information system. Once we came to know, then we will prepare some particular form of report, okay, and then we are recommending the solution to fabricate or to construct some particular type of information system for particular departments, or we should have to make some little bit modification into the existing system. So these are the sub processes in the requirement analysis. After conducting a very appropriate form of planning and requirement analysis, then and then only we will be in a position to know about what things are being available in the organization and what sort of information system has been required to us. Next one is the second stage, that is called as defining the requirements. After we came to know about the requirement of the system by means of effective planning, here whatever form of requirement analysis has been conducted, we need to prepare the report, and that report will be called as the feasibility report. Okay, this is called as the feasibility report. This report tells us about what things has been available and how does that we are going to make another form of information system to the user. So that feasibility report is nothing but one special type of document, or it is a very simple form of document that will assess the potential solution of the business problem or opportunity and determine which of these are viable for further analysis. After conducting the requirement analysis, planning and requirement analysis, we should have to prepare the report, that is called as feasibility report. In that feasibility report, okay, we have to mention that which particular type of information system that we are constructing and why we are constructing with respect to whatever the business problems that the organizations are facing. We need to carry out some particular type of analysis, say for example SWOT analysis, okay, whether it should be feasible for the company or it is viable for the company to manufacture and make a huge expenses on fabrication of the information system. So by means of feasibility reports, the organizations came to know that whether it can be feasible for the company to manufacture any new information system. In that feasibility report, various information has been presented, okay, using these different titles. How to prepare the feasibility reports. So these are the basic points that we should have to mention, okay, in preparation of the feasibility report. The first one is called as a preamble. That preamble is nothing but the introduction. This is called as an introduction. What is, for what purpose that we are going to construct any new information system, that should be mentioned in this introductory part. Then what will be the goals and objectives behind constructing the new information system? Okay, it is the part of that feasibility report. Here we should have to give the brief description of the present system, what things has been available within the organization, and what new things that we are going to reproduce. So that things should be mentioned in the proposed alternatives in detail. So all these proposed alternatives, some proposed solution with respect to constructing the new information system has been mentioned in this feasibility report. So this feasibility report will cover all these entire points. Okay, once this feasibility report has been prepared, okay, then we should have to think about whether we should have to go for further stages of system development or not. So this can be analyzed at various levels, okay, middle level as well as the strategic level by the organizational executives. Once we came to know about that feasibility report, here we are talking about the cost involvement. How much cost can be incurred on constructing the information system. So we need to carry out some cost benefit analysis. That cost benefit analysis will says that whether it should be feasible for the company to reconstruct some new information system or not. What will be the benefit of that information system that can be analyzed with the help of feasibility report. Whatever form of proposed alternatives has been given by the technical team, whether that proposed alternative will be feasible for the company or not, considering the cost and the benefit, we need to consider some other problems which can be encountered in near future once we start the manufacturing operations of that new information system. Say for example some human factor, what form of human factor will be involved. We do require some technical expertise. Lastly, they are all human beings. So what sort of quality human resource would be required to manufacture the information system? Some organizational inputs or other form of data, technological bottlenecks. There will be a limitation. Some particular technologies could not be made available very easily. Okay, we should have to import from other countries. So what will be the difficulty that can encounter? The best alternative is chosen by the end user for the system. By means of considering almost all types of factors, finally we are in a position whether we should have to manufacture this information system or not. So here we need to analyze that requirement by means of using the feasibility reports. Then the next stage is designing the system architecture. We were already discussed about the system architecture by means of using IT resources. Here along with IT resources we need to consider the human factor. Okay, here we need to construct some particular form of information system that requires system design. So here we should have to in another way we should have to prepare some plan with respect to that system design. How does the system will achieve the overall objective? That need to be analyzed, and we need to also include, while we are talking about the system design, what form of modules that we are introducing in a new information system, what architecture would be required, some other basic components, okay, or with respect to our computer peripherals, which particular peripherals are very much necessary, what will be the user interface over here, whether it is a graphic friendly user interface or not, or DOS based or Unix based interface would be there, and we need to think about the database also. So that process will be called as system design. Here we need to plan out our system by means of defining the modules, architecture, component, interface and database, so as to achieve the overall objectives of the information system. So that system design is a very critical form of activity, okay, where we will specify the system specification. So that is called as a logical and physical design activity. Okay, logical in the sense what, how does the data will flow from one system to another system, from one databases to another databases, from one user to another user. So lots of complications would be over here, and we need to specify each and everything according to the need and requirement of the organization, okay, and we are creating some specific plan with respect to that system design. System designing is nothing but defining the architecture of the information system. Now while conducting that designing the system architecture, here we should have to prepare some basic documents, okay, that will cover the detailed specification regarding what we will discuss in the system design, along with hardware and software plan, okay, the basic components of the computing devices. So that should be included in the document, and we have to prepare the complete system design report. The next stage is called as building or developing the system. Now here we are in a position to fabricate the system. Whatever stages which has been discussed earlier, finally we were arranged the resources by the organization, and then after arranging these resources either internally or externally, combining all the various components, resources and whatever form of specification has been mentioned by the technical team, we need to develop the system, we need to fabricate or construct the system. This is called as development of the system or building of that information system. There will be different stages in case of development of the system. Here we need to acquire the appropriate type of hardware and software which are necessary to fabricate the information system. We need to also think about the database design. How does the data will flow across the various computer network from various departments and various users? How does the data will be stored and it will be managed in the master database? So whether it is an employee database, customer database, anything. So there will be various parameters with respect to the data. That data can be managed very appropriately with the help of database management system. Finally, designing the hardware and the database design, we need to start the process of system development. Here we are combining the various resources and tries to fabricate the prototype of that information system, for which we will also prepare some particular softwares. So continuous programming goes over there, okay, different types of programs by means of using coding and testing of various modules that can be analyzed whether the system will function appropriately or not. So this will be a more challenging and creative task over here, that how does the system will work in its life cycle, what form of information inputs would be required to the system, and how does the system will convert that relevant data or information into the required output. So here that system development will be a very critical activity. When we are planning to develop any sort of information system, we need to prepare the varieties of reports. That reports can be analyzed. Even whatever form of coding or instructions that we are giving to that information system, that should be implemented by means of using some standard procedure. It does not mean that any type of input that we can given to the computer and that will work accordingly. It does not happen. So some type of procedural manual are very necessary. So how to handle that information system, and what form of standard procedure are there to measure the benchmark, so that we can increase the precision, we can increase the quality in making the decisions by means of getting some accurate and reliable reports. So here we need to analyze some procedural flowchart, record layout, report layout, and other sort of plans for implementation of the system. Now our prototype is ready at this stage. Our newly fabricated system is ready at this stage. Now we need to suggest some other solutions so that we can plan for its implementation. We can go for its deployment or installation of the system in the department. Here what sort of personnel are required, money, hardware, other type of facilities, and how much estimated cost are necessary to completely design that information system. Completely design. All these things are need to be assessed on various parameters whichever we have been mentioned over here. And we need to create a projected cost of the newly fabricated information system. So that projected cost is nothing but how much amount that we are making an investment in fabrication of the new information system, and which is need to be compared with the existing system whichever have been available to the organization. All these things can be assessed, okay, with the help of this information. Now the next stage is called as testing the system. Now we are in a position to have a prototype or sample of the information system. Now lots of different types of program and instruction has been given to the information system, so that whether the system will operate in an appropriate way or not, or they will be producing the reliable type of result or not. So that can be analyzed by means of giving some instruction to the computer based information system in the form of programs, strings, system, or user acceptance testing. So how much amount of data can be processed, okay, at particular amount of time, so that we can get an appropriate form of report that need to be tested. That will also tries to know some other sort of benchmark that we are included in producing the quality and reliable results. So here we are applying some further performance based criteria, okay, so that system will work very appropriately and gives the reliable results. So that performance criteria will be called as a turnaround time, within how much amount of time we can get the appropriate result. the backup of data and other related information, file protection as well as security, and what form of human factors are being associated with that information system, which should be clearly specified. So during the testing of that information system, we came to know about the problems in that particular system and performance. How does the system will perform in a given situation, that we came to know. It does not mean that whatever system that you are manufacturing, it should be of very well quality and it does not collapse. It requires some other backup plan, okay, that is called as parallel run. We need to construct some parallel system simultaneously. If there is some sort of failure in this system, okay, so other type of system will work appropriately and they will tries to identify the flaws or problems into the existing system and record the operations. It does not mean that whatever transaction could be takes place. If suppose many of the companies that they are having their own websites, they are also using the parallel servers over here. These parallel servers are very necessary whenever somebody tries to hack that information systems or website. In that case, that parallel server will work appropriately. Here whatever form of new system has been performed, where both the current and proposed systems are run in parallel, okay, for specified period of time, okay, and the current system is used to validate the proposed system. You need to compare your existing system and whatever system that you were manufacturer, okay, that should work in a parallel way. By means of that, you came to know about whether the newly fabricated information system that will work accordingly to your previous system or not. You also came to know whether your old existing system, okay, that would have an access to the newly manufacturing system or not. Okay, they must be also compatible. If we are completely removing the old outdated system, in that case, okay, this can be damage to the organization in many ways, because these are all the quality resources that organizations has obtained. So one cannot throw out this system, okay, suppose they are being outdated. The company need to think that whether they can make some little bit modification into the existing system, okay, that need to be think over here, and for which your newly constructed prototype will be helpful in that case. While testing the processes, we are conducting some further form of analysis, that is called as internal logic of the system, software, okay, so as to ensure that all statements have been tested. Whatever that you are saying with respect to the newly constructed system, okay, each and every aspects, whether it has been related to goals, objectives, or performance, okay, quality, benchmark, okay, or reports, that need to be tested from all the angles. Some external functions should be also tested by conducting some particular type of test and other sort of analyses, so as to identify the errors in the existing system as well as newly constructed system. So this will be helpful to produce some reliable result. So this uh, kind of testing can be conducted with the help of some computer programs. So all these softwares, application softwares, are need to be tested very appropriately. There are some organizations, those who are being checking the quality of the information systems. The next stage is called as deployment of the system. Now once the system has been manufactured, okay, it will be into the beta stage, okay. It is not making the product available for the use of commercial operations, okay. the system will be in the beta stage. Okay, so in this beta stage we will install the system and take the feedback from the users and customers. Once the users and customers come across with that newly constructed information system, so we will get a lot of inputs with respect to the problems and flaws in the information system. All these flaws, problems which are being received from the shop floor people, those who are directly using this information system, which is need to be corrected and making some improvement. Okay, its final release or official release of newly constructed prototype system will be arranged. So whatever form of information system has been there, okay, initially it will be in the beta stage. Before the commercial operations we are testing from all the angles. Okay, we by means of taking the feedback from the users and customers, and then we are manufacturing the final information system. The last stage would be called as system evaluation and maintenance. Whatever system has been manufactured, after checking and testing the quality of that information system, time to time it is required to evaluate whether they will produce the reliable result or not. We need to overcome the varieties of errors. We need to eliminate that errors time to time and try to improve the working life of the information system. And simultaneously we need to concentrate on whatever form of deficiencies are there in the existing system. We need to brought into the notice of the higher management, okay, so that some new modifications can be made into the next version of the information system, for which system planner would be there or system analyst would be there. They are continuously looking for the overall operations of the information system and time to time tries to maintain the working of the information system using some appropriate maintenance functions. So regular data backup, okay, regular repair, replacements of parts and other sort of machinery, that could be a part of part and parcel of that system planner, whether they will look after each and everything, whether the system will work in a particular environment appropriately or not. The next topic is called as MIS development. Now once we came to know about system development, here we need to talk about how to construct the information system, okay, that will be helpful to the management decision making. As we know about MIS, all MIS based system are nothing but the application software or application based system, and all these application based system will require one of the very important resource, and that is called as capital and time. So as compared to our system development life cycle, one of the very important resource is time as well as capital. That has been a very essential criteria in the MIS development. Here we need to manage varieties of resources whatever has been existing in the organization, and for which we need to implement this system development life cycle very appropriately, and we need to convince the management and by means of defining the plan, okay, of system development, and produce before the management what form of information support that we are going to produce with new MIS development project. So therefore it is necessary to design and develop the appropriate type of information system that will not just produce the data, okay, that will not just only for collection of the data. Whatever data has been collected, okay, it should be processed, stored and converted into the reliable type of information, so that we can make some effective management decision. That is a primary objective of that MIS development. Now when we are going to construct any MIS development project, we need to also consider about our system development life cycle, okay, and primarily conducting some planning based analysis as well as requirement analysis. That MIS development project will not be just a data processing activity. It is more than a data processing, because here we are finally getting the reliable results in the form of MIS report, and all these MIS reports will save the amount of time, money and other resources of the executives, those who are being dealing with the different types of decision making activity in the organization. And that's why it is quite necessary to get the support from the top management. Here the top management will clarify their things so as to take some necessary actions on new project of that MIS development, okay, so that they can inculcate some values into the newly constructed information system by means of effective planning, decision making and actions. So many of the organizations, they are having their own R&D teams. They are continuously involved in development of new MIS projects, okay, so that they can concentrate on the changing needs of the business environment. So whatever has been happening in the business, there are competitors, there are different service providers, and all of these are providing good quality services. Suppose so, there will be a huge competition into the market, and it is quite necessary to provide the better services to the user as well as customers. And that's why new information system need to be constructed using these MIS development projects by means of using that system development life cycle. So that is all about system development as well as MIS development. So thank you very much, that we will see some further topics in the new session.